What's going on YouTube? JT Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about DC vs. Vampires World War V, issue number 3. This one is written by Matthew Rosenberg, art by Otto Schmidt, and then there's also a backup, I think it's like Tyler something that does the art and writing for it. But yeah, so this is DC vs. Vampires World War V. Picks up where the kind of last issue left off, but also kind of starting out beforehand, kind of giving the origin of that child early on. So Big Barda and Mr. Miracle getting very frisky. Big Barda was like, yeah, turn me into a vampire. Let's have hot vampire sex. And then, of course, the baby was conceived. But now this baby is kind of the key to everything because they were like a special hybrid child. I think like Blade or something like that. And, of course, we have Alfred versus Wonder Woman. I don't see Talia alive, so I assume that she was really just kind of done at this time. I wasn't 100% sure. There's also a little bit of a power grab going on out of the Queen is dead, Barbara Gordon, within the vampires. And there's also talk of this child that could be the key to kind of everything. So you got the stuff with the child. That's a big important plot point. And of course you have Damian and his little stuff going on. Our Queen in that, intimidating some vampires is always pretty cool. You got his group going on. So all these different moving pieces, and of course you have Damian in his convoy, which they've been destroying like the different supplies of the vampires to try and wipe them all out, because he's got his loyal followers. He's like, they're all after him. They want to kind of capture him and bring him in. So that's something they want to do. But of course, like, this convoy is a trap, and it's Shazam, Cassie, and Raven. So I was kind of, one thing that kind of surprised me too is that like the two characters they specifically chose, female ones, are Cassie and Raven, who are like notable love interests of Damian, and two like very kind of iconic Elseworld types tales, if you can call them that. Like, because you have Raven in the DC animated movie universe, and then you have Cassie, who was like Damian's girlfriend and deceased, not in the main universe, but like these Elseworld tales. Like I consider the animation like Elseworlds like stuff too. Really anything outside of the main comic books to me is like an Elseworlds tale. But I just thought that was kind of interesting how like those two specific characters were chosen. But you know, all the characters are drawn pretty well in this style, and then you just have Shazam kind of thrown in there too. So, but they don't want to kill Damian right now. They want to kind of capture him and bring him in, because like they need him for stuff. But yeah, Raven's a vampire. I like her style here, like Cassie as well. And then Shazam and that, like all the vampire stuff looks pretty cool. Batwoman basically sacrifices herself for Damian, and she kind of helps him up, and then she kind of fades like before him, and you just kind of see this heartbreak. And like, to me, that's the most powerful moment in the entire issue. It's just like, because like Kate Kane's been loyal by his side the whole time, and now he just lost her because like she gave her life to protect him. And like, just everything that he's been through in this series like has been, I mean, all the characters have gone through a lot of stuff with the whole vampire war and all that, but he has just been like a one-man kind of, well, not really one man. Now he's got people like working with him, but he has been trying to fight to end the vampires after all the chaos that happened in the world. And, you know, the vampires really caused so many of these problems. They were living in a little bit more of a peaceful time. And then, of course, what happened with Dick Grayson and all the changes. So Damian's just been trying to fight day and night, and he is just like on the run, basically. Like, it's him versus the world at this point. So, and of course you have Constantine drunk spells, and you have Black Canary in that. So there's some stuff going on there. And then of course Damian is pretty much at his last wit right now. You have Shazam, Raven, and Cassie all kind of after him, and he ends up being saved by someone as Batman. Now it's left ambiguous as to who it is, but Damian's kind of like surprised too. We do not fight when we cannot win. We wait for the advantage, take it off. You're telegraphing your strikes again. I trained you better than this, child. I can remind you if I must, but if we want to live much longer, I suggest we do it elsewhere. Who the F are you? And then, of course, he unmasks himself, and Damian's like, oh. Now, I have a theory. I think this might be Ra's al Ghul, because when you think about who's going to call Damian child, definitely not his brothers. Batman, Bruce Wayne, unless he's alive somehow, it's not going to be him. So my thinking, it has to be Ra's, like, because Alfred's already a Green Lantern. He's not going to dress up as Batman at this point. So I'm thinking it's got to be Ra's al Ghul. Like, I think that actually sounds like a really cool, interesting idea. Ra's al Ghul being like an Elseworlds Batman in the wake to like kind of honor what happened to Talia and what happened to Batman, just kind of fighting for this cause. Like, I think that just sounds kind of cool to have like Ra's as Batman. It's like, it won't happen anywhere else, but if anybody can kind of do it, like, that's left, that's trained Damian in that, like, it has to be Ra's. Like, it can't really be anyone else, especially if they're calling him child in that. So I'm thinking it's got to be Ra's. I don't know what you all think. Post your comments down below. I think that would actually be kind of cool. So, and then of course in the backup storyline, it's just Bat-Mite, part 2. Tyler Boss is the writer and artist. So he was like trying to be like Geoforce's Bat-Mite character, but things aren't going well. He's trying different heroes, and then eventually he settles onto like he finds Damian and Alfred and decides to be Alfred Mite. So I'm not sure what a big factor this is going to play in the plot later on, but I imagine that Bat-Mite's going to have to play a big role at some point later on in the story. Like, why are we focusing on these backups with him if it's not going to play a factor kind of later on? So, yeah. But all things considered, like, I did enjoy DC versus Vampires issue number 3. I guess we're kind of 3 for 3 in terms of DC comic books for this week. There's definitely been some pretty good stuff overall. Like I said, enjoying DC versus Vampires. I did like Batman and Robin. But Absolute Batman to me was the comic book of the week. That one came in, and I had no expectations really for that storyline. I'm like, all right, I'll check this thing out. And I'm like, wow, this is actually like really good. I'm really enjoying this. So it's a good feeling again. Like, I feel like when I used to be really excited about reading DC stuff, and like I want that feeling back. Like, I wish I could have that feeling like every week. Like, wow, I can't wait to read what's next. Oh man, this is so good, and all that other stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, we've had some pretty good stuff this week. So, yeah, so DC versus Vampires number 3, liking it so far. No bad issues so far in this current series. Like, you really feel that bleakness throughout. And to me, the best moment of the issue is just kind of that moment where like Damian's holding Kate's hand, and then she kind of fades away. You just have this look on his face of just like what do I got to do left at this point? Like, I'm like pretty much at my end. I've been fighting for so long. I just want to try and like stop this once and for all. And it's like, you just got to keep going. Like, it's that perseverance that's just gonna be very powerful and emotionally impactful. And of course, Batman showing up like when he like needs him the most, I think is kind of what makes it like extra like special for me. And of course, we don't know who Batman is. It's kept ambiguous, but it can't be Bruce, and his brothers wouldn't call him Child. So it's gotta be Ra's. I can't think of anybody else who it would be. So my theory's on Ra's, and like I said, I think the idea of Ra's Batman sounds kind of unique and interesting. So we'll see how that all pans out. But yeah, I like DC versus Vampires number 3. What did you think of it? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to your channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that other fun stuff. I think I got like one other comic book, which is like a Godzilla one, but I'll get that one out tomorrow. I've already covered a couple today, so look forward to watching all these videos back to back if you get the chance, and I will see you all in the next video. Good week for DC. Good week. Wish every week was like this. All right. Peace out, everyone.